So we all simply were given the disappointing but unsurprising news that the feds have been not going to be urgent expenses against anybody in the Shanqella Robinson case, because there were supposedly no longer enough evidence to prosecute everybody beyond a reasonable doubt, which of Rude is completely ridiculous because we have all visible the movies. And we've heard approximately the accidents listed in Mexico's autopsy document. We've got heard about the lies that the Cabo 6 informed Shanqella's circle of relatives. And consistent with witness reports, we understand that they laughed over her frame, they manipulated the motel personnel, and fled Mexico before they can be wondered, and they shared the ambush video with their buddies. So with all of that records to be had, and with more that ought to nevertheless be accessible through cell phone records and metadata, how could they probable assume that they might simply feed us something and break out with it? I mean, they can report fees against people with Facebook posts and based totally on rap lyrics. However, video proof is just not enough in order that they decided to flow into the idea that the preliminary postmortem in Mexico turned into incorrect when it listed the cause of loss of life as intense spinal twine harm and atlas luxation. They basically said that despite the fact that all the bruises and accidents that have been listed in Mexico's preliminary file had been given in the autopsy that the use conducted, that there was truly no spinal twine harm that the use noticed. And it's crazy, because this new record they did this new autopsy became accomplished almost 3 weeks after her passing, and after her body became embalmed. But they want to tell us that this new postmortem is greater whole and accurate than the only that become achieved in Mexico. It boggles the thoughts that that is what we're imagined to trust and accept as true, with from the humans who've basically been no longer giving any statistics to Tranquila's own family, essentially telling them, oh, we are investigating, and not supplying any hope, any encouragement. They have been telling them, oh, you want extra information, communicate to them. I imply Sue Ann Robinson, their lawyer, literally had to go to Mexico herself to do a truth-locating challenge. To discover what become happening to get records, she went to the villa that Shanqella changed into. She went to the lawyer's office, the country prosecutor's workplace there. She did all of that due to the fact U.S. government have been basically stonewalling Shanqella's circle of relatives, telling them, oh, we are investigating, but you could need to ask Mexico what they are doing approximately it so. But we are purported to take their word that, oh yeah, this postmortem, this one which we did proper here, that's the correct one, it really is the only that we're gonna go along with. And because higher there we don't see what Mexico was speaking approximately. We always see is those bruises. And we see that there may be blunt force trauma to her head and swelling on her mind. However, we cannot discern out what triggered her death. So we cannot do something about that. They absolutely need us to believe what they are saying in this situation. It is absolutely ridiculous. So of course, like a variety of us, Shanqella's mom, Salamander Robinson, is not shopping for it. And she basically said in an interview that become performed after the FBI knowledgeable them that if they desired justice, that they should get someone else to do it. I imply they essentially stated again, well, we are not going to do something approximately it. But you already know if Mexico does something will assist them at this factor, what help are you able to give? Because they've determined they basically haven't been extraditing Mexico, sent the request into Interpol, and to the U.S. They stated again at the give-up of November remaining year they dispatched their request in for extradition for the direct aggressor. And that video that we all noticed, however, they have not obtained any reaction returned from the United States. But the U.S. now needs to inform Salamandra that, hey, if she desires justice, see what Mexico is inclined to do about it. And we will help all of them, we will, when all proof of the opposite, they have not been assisting at all. But anyway, on this interview, she said that Salamander said that she would possibly ought to have Shanqella's body exhumed. It is dissatisfied due to the fact the easy truth is they had enough evidence through to the video that became online. And they said it wasn't enough evidence, however, I do not believe. And then they said that, underscore underscore, they do not know what turned into the motive of Adele. However, the reason of her loss of life become because of the fee from what we ought to see. And she stated she did not have a group of fellows and or he additionally died from the swelling on the brain. But she additionally changed into crushed. So you can give me you know. I sense that a person have to have been arrested. Due to that you understand, however, they attempting to mention that they failed to so. I would possibly should have a frame exhumed. Because we need some other post-mortem we are gonna maintain going We can be in Washington on May the 19th. I sense that they must have took this example and took it severe when it first happened. They did not step up to the plate and do what they had to do from the very beginning. They said it was out in their palms, but gave the look of to me they didn't try to do something. And that they actually failed my family, as being the FBI. And the government here, we have surely been fed up. Because my daughter did not need to die like that, and brother changed into in Mexico, or anything it became, and that they need to make a regulation, allow people understand that you can't exit of Metropolis, and do not anything to someone, and are available lower back, and suppose what you changed into okay with it. You realize there has been a video, everybody's seen the video, so there have to have been some prices have to have been made. And I'm speaking approximately right here inside the United States. Can you agree with that? It is extraordinary that after over 5 months of being sincerely, no help whilst pretending that they had been treating this example as a concern after 5 months of stalling the own family, by means of pretending to be cooperating with Mexico and investigating the case themselves, the FBI finally had to expose their fingers after attorney Sue Ann Robinson and Ben Crump got at the case, and based on the assertion that Sue Ann Robinson made all through the Click convention. After the FBI's assertion, it nearly seems like they essentially waited till Sue Ann got returned from Mexico with a packet of facts earlier than they even added any of the Cabo Six in for thinking any discrepancies. And I can speak evidently due to the fact, because at this point, why if you wait until 5 months after a person dedicated against the law, I'm no longer a trained investigator. But I might imagine that the people would have time if they were worried allegedly in against the law. They might have the possibility in time and space to delete text messages if that is what they wanted to do to talk to each other about the case, which is why typically speaking in investigations, as soon as you already know there may be an issue you at once, and swiftly look into to save you delays that would save you discrepancy that could save you justice from being served. And so it's why it is so disheartening that the U.S. government allow them to do any such suitable levels. Are you able to believe how lots longer they would have stalled the family if Sue Ann Robinson and Ben Crump hadn't used their connections and started writing letters to the White House and States Departments? It's truly unthinkable. And although the feds might imagine they have the remaining word inside the Shanqella Robinson case, they are the very last authority. And regrettably we knew this would be the drill. Whilst it got here to this example, we hope to be pleasantly surprised. For as soon as but thank God that there are options for private autopsies and high levels of diplomatic intervention in this situation. Because it looks as if that's what it's going to take if they're no longer, if basically the FBI isn't truly directly speaking with Mexico in terms of this extradition request that they dispatch someone this high level of diplomatic intervention. A person's gonna ought to step in and be like, we need to get this accomplished, and optimistically, it really is something that is going to occur soon. So we're going to maintain pushing this out there due to the fact that is something that all of us want to be preserving up on top of. We want to just maintain it going because we see that it hasn't been pointed out in mainstream media. A lot we of course, while they may be like essential such things as this information, there that we get a few kind of coverage for it. However, we recognize we've all visible the coverage that different people get in terms of things like this. And it's been nowhere near that level of insurance for this situation. And so we're just gonna preserve on top of it. Because Shankwell Robinson could have justice, there will be justice for Shankwell Robinson. All proper thank you for watching. Allow me recognize what you men assume. Do you agree with this new autopsy report that they have been releasing? Do you believe you studied that this the U.S. autopsy was extra whole? It has the U.S. chest. Is it? Did they absolutely drop the ball and not care? Let me recognize what you think. Thanks for looking.